Hey everybody, welcome to Tutorial Tuesdays. My name is Madison and I'm the owner of MHD Beauty and MHD Cosmetics out of Nashville, Tennessee. For today's episode, I thought it would be fun to have you guys get a glimpse into my everyday makeup routine. If you've been following my blog the past several months, my very first Tutorial Tuesday episode actually was my everyday makeup routine back in February when I started, and obviously that's changed a lot over the last 7 months or so. So I am gonna do like a remix of that and basically take you through my everyday makeup routine. And this is just, you know, if I want to put a little bit of makeup on to run some errands or meet a client, this is what I do every day. So the first thing that I do is I take our Camera Ready foundation primer and I squirt one pump and I just smooth that on all over my face. The next thing I do is I take our Sheer Glow illuminating lotion and I squirt about, I would say a half a pump onto the ends of my fingers like this. And I just apply this with my fingertips to the under eye area and then I blend it in with our blending sponge. Next, what I do is I take our HD liquid concealer, and the color that I use is N25 because, as you know, my foundation color is N45 and N25 is one shade lighter than N45. So I actually use this concealer because you can see I don't really have any dark circles. I use it just to, I use it in conjunction with the Sheer Glow just to kind of brighten the under eye area. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of this to the under eye area and then I'm going to blend it out with my blending sponge. So once that's been kind of blended out and we're done with all of our liquids, it's time to add some powder. My favorite foundation right now in the collection for me is our dual powder foundation, and that is because I have oily skin and it really provides a nice coverage without making me feel like I really have makeup on. So for every day, the dual powder foundation combined with the Camera Ready foundation primer is a great choice for me. So as I mentioned, my foundation color is N45, so I will be using our mineral buffing brush and the N45 dual powder foundation, and I will just apply that all over my face. Now, I also like to take a little bit of our N5 shade, which is one shade darker than the N45, just to kind of go around my face, just to give myself a little bit of color. But I don't want to use this all over my face because it is darker than my face, so I don't really want to make my whole face darker, just around the edges. I'm also going to use this N5 as a preliminary contour for my cheekbones. So I'm just going to put a little bit in that area. And now some of you probably noticed, if you've ever had a lesson with me, I really preach dab the powder on, don't swirl it. Well, the only exception to that is if you are wearing the dual powder foundation on top of the Camera Ready foundation primer only, then it is totally fine to go ahead and start swirling when you're initially applying the dual powder foundation. The reason for that is the Camera Ready foundation primer acts kind of as a glue and an agent for the powder to really blend in with your skin. So it's totally okay to use that swirling motion when you're initially applying the dual powder foundation only on top of the Camera Ready foundation primer. If you're using the dual powder foundation to set your foundation, be it a liquid or something not just a powder, then you do want to use the dabbing motion. And you probably noticed that I did that dabbing motion on top of this area here where I did apply some liquid products. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to do a little bit of a cheekbone contour, and to do that I'm going to use one of our contour powders. These are all of our contour powders, and the one I'm going to be using for myself is contour number 5, and our contour brush. Now moving on, after the cheek contour, I just want to add a little bit of blush. I'm not a huge blush person, so I will be using our shade Sultry, which is this one right here. And I'm just going to blend that right here into the outer apple of my cheek into that cheek contour. And I'm using our number 2 blush brush. So as you can see, I really just add enough blush to just give myself just a little tiny bit of color on my cheeks. But that's about it. That's all that I like to apply. So now comes my favorite part. I'm going to be using our product called Spotlight, which is in my blush palette here. But of course, just like the blushes and the contour powders, they all come in their own individual compacts as well. So you don't have to order them in a palette, in a refill pan. You can just order them by themselves. So I'm just gonna kind of use the side of my blush brush, and I'm gonna apply this product on top of my cheekbones and down the center of my nose and on my cupid's bow. Okay, so now that my face is done, I'm gonna start on the eye area. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna work on my brows a little bit. I'm gonna take a brow brush like this, and I'm just gonna go over my brows, just kind of brush them in place. And then once I have my brows brushed in place, then I'm gonna use our Brow Fixx Tint and Shaper Gel. And the color that I'm using is Blondie, and I'm just gonna go over my brows lightly with the product. Okay, so that's it for my brows for now. If I were putting on more eye makeup or putting on a little bit more eye makeup, I would fill them in just a little bit more, but for every day, just using the brow gel is totally fine. So for my eyes, if you know me and you see me on a regular basis, you know that I really don't wear a whole lot of eye makeup anymore. I'm really more concerned with how my face looks than with how my eyes look. So my eye makeup routine every day is very minimal. But the things that I do are I add a little bit of our product called Eye Lights. And it currently only comes in one color, and that's Purity. And it's really a nice, like, neutral, shimmery color. It has a little bit of a hint of pink or mauve in it. And it really looks great on everyone's eyelids. And I just apply it, just a few taps on my eyelids, and then I just blend it in with my fingertips. So once I've applied the Eye Lights product on my eyelids, I do like to add a little pop of highlight in my tear duct and along my brow bone. So I'm actually gonna go back to the Spotlight, which is this pressed illuminator here. And I'm just gonna use a standard eyeshadow brush. And I'm just gonna put some of that product on my tear duct and along my brow bone. So for the eyes, on an everyday basis, I really just skip the eyeliner process altogether. But I do like to wear a lot of mascara. And for the warmer months, my mascara of choice is our Raincoat Waterproof Mascara. It's got a really great silicone wand that has a lot of little teeth. And I like to wear this one, like I said, in the summer months because I tend to glow a lot when it's warm, and this is a waterproof formula, so it will not transfer to my under eye or my lid area. And as you can see, I'm not wearing a lot of mascara on the bottom lash line, just because I feel like, for me, not wearing a ton on the top and the bottom kind of keeps my eyes looking open. So the last step in my everyday routine is, of course, adding some lipstick. And my current favorite now through the end of the summer is our lipstick called Sunkiss. And the reason why I like it is that it's a really nice light shimmery color. It kind of has a mauve tint to it, but it's really great, and it's a high gloss formula, so it goes on really shiny, and it just makes your lips look really healthy and gives you kind of an overall glow. So that's it for my Get Ready With Me tutorial. I hope you stay tuned next week for another episode of Tutorial Tuesdays. Thanks, and have a great week.